Hello, and as always, welcome to a new video. And this one has been long awaited. I guess I'm gonna do it. I've been putting it off, but we're gonna kill Sarah 1000 times. And I haven't done this boss very much. You'll probably be able to tell from the election log. What is it? Commander Zilliana. I've got 39 kills, and I've seen nothing. No pet, no crossbow, no hilt, no sword. I've got these shards, but those are obviously from all the God Wars dungeon bosses. And I haven't even seen a Saradomin light. 39 KC though. So we'll be ending at 1039 KC. And this is what the inventory looks like. I expect it to change as the video progresses and how I do this. I know there's a way to walk around the room, but I don't know how to do that. We've got the Ring of Endurance, and we are pretty much rocking maxed here and the Zammy and Sarah items. I guess I could use other things, but you know what? We're going to wait with this. And obviously, before I get up there, I'm going to change spellbooks. So I will see you when I get there. Okay, Future Rocks here. And as you can tell by my inventory, it looks horrendous. But with that said, we did get our first drop really early on with the Saradomin hilt coming in at 77 total KC. So I think that was, what, less than 40 KC into the video? I got the Saradomin hilt, which isn't what it used to be. I feel like the God Sword was around 70 mil when God Wars first came out. Although I think the Armadillo God Sword was like 100 mil. But the Saradomin one was definitely way more useful than that. But here we go again. Another drop. We got our Saradomin sword at 99 KC total. So I'm less than 100 KC in. I've got the hilt. I've got the sword. I'm completing tasks. And yeah, we're doing really well at this point. And I have another drop coming in here. Just a few kills later, we got another Saradomin sword. That 9 kills later. I think this is going to be a sign for the rest of the video. It will be raining Saradomin swords the entire time. I don't think I'm going to put all of them in here, but I did get quite a few, which I guess is to be expected. I did kill this boss 1000 times, and after a while you see my inventory start to improve a little bit. I don't know why I thought bringing the hilt and the boots was even a good idea. I had the Ring of Endurance, which in itself counts as a Saradomin item. I don't think I realized that at the time. Someone pointed it out to me and was like, hey, you don't need to take those boots. And I was like, awesome. Also, I have Virtus, and I'm pretty sure later in the video I switch out of Virtus. The price was just going all over the place, and I sold it pretty high. But yeah, I do remember when God Wars came out, and everyone used Verax here. I don't know if anyone who's watching this remembers that. I mean, did you guys go to like God Wars, or at least Sarah, with like full Verax and like kill Sarah? I feel like that was a thing. There were like 3-man teams or something, maybe 5. I don't know. I've never really done a whole lot of Sarah, which is part of why I was really reluctant to do this. That, and I saw the price of the hilt, and it was only 19 mil, and that really hurt. Also, I knew that Sarah didn't really drop anything else, but I did see how much the Armadillo crossbow was, and I was hoping that would be the redeeming thing about this boss. Otherwise, this is going to be just like Zamorak, and I was going to get maybe like 80 mil or something from this boss. Maybe even less, to be honest. Without a crossbow, we're not really going to make any money from this. Since I'm using the blowpipe and we're barraging and doing all other kinds of crazy stuff during this video, we definitely need a crossbow to make up for it. And I ask this question in all of my God Wars dungeon videos. What is your favorite God Wars boss? Do you like Nex? Do you prefer Armadillo, Bandos, Zamorak? I do want to say a lot of people prefer Bandos. I feel like it's like the intro to God Wars Dungeon, Bandos. But I can also see why people like Sarah after doing this about 1,000 times. And see, it's one of the bosses that you can solo without crazy gear or without crazy prayer switches. You can actually just run around the room. And you don't have to like red X anything or run in a certain pattern or anything like that. You just gotta have to run around the room and shoot the boss. It's easy enough since Sarah's much smaller than the other bosses here in God Wars. Also, do you guys like Nex? And is Nex something that I should do? And if I did make a video doing Nex, how many people would you guys like to see on the team? And are we looking at 100 kills or 1,000 kills? Or somewhere in between? Let me know. I do want to say 1,000 is going to take a very long time. And I know 1,000 Sarah took me months to finish, mainly because I don't have like, I don't know, I don't have like 80 hours a week or anything like that that I can put into this. And I was really reluctant to keep killing this boss over and over again. It was slightly discouraging. I did die, I think 2 or 3 times during the making of this video, but just dumb mistakes by me. And I think it was really discouraging because I went hundreds of kills without getting anything. Like I got that hilt really early on and a couple Saradomin swords, and I was like, yes, this is gonna be the boss. And then I just didn't get anything. I think Armadillo pretty much spoiled me for that. But yeah, I was hoping for the pet while I was doing this as well. That was the big one. It was like, if I can get the pet, I don't ever have to come back here. And it was my hope the entire time. But we'll have to see how that goes. I don't think expecting the pet from just 1,000 KC is a good thing. But I did have some luck in some other places. If you haven't seen those videos, I don't want to spoil it. But we're coming up on another drop right here. At 342 KC, I get the Saradomin's Light. I actually don't remember this being in the game when it first, well, when Sarah first came out. And I looked into it, and it's just to dispel the darkness from the Zamorak God Wars dungeon, and to turn the Staff of the Dead into a Staff of Light, I guess. So you can auto-cast the Saradomin Strike, I believe. I think that's all it does. It's not very expensive. I want to say it was like maybe 30 KGP or something like that. So basically a crap drop. I want to say it's 1 in 200, 252, something like that. Speaking of drop rates, the Saradomin swords are also like 1 in 108 or something like that. And the hilt is 1 in 500 something. And the crossbow, I believe, is also 1 in 500 something. Also, the we got a drop. We got a drop. Another Saradomin sword. Another one. We're just gonna keep raining Saradomin swords. I don't remember a time where I ever used one of these, especially in old school. I feel like the D-Skim and the Defender was better stat-wise. Just as kids though, or at least me as a kid, I was like, you know what? Saradomin sword. This is what I need. And the spec was really cool, right? Who doesn't want to use the Saradomin sword spec? Get a little bit of magic XP. I remember using it at Barrows when I was super new to the game, and I was like, this spec just shreds. It's great. But speaking of magic, I was wondering why this boss drops magic potions. If anyone could tell me, I'd appreciate it. I don't really understand if we were supposed to use magic here because the boss has really high magic attack, so you're not really going to be hitting it with magic at all. Maybe someone can explain that to me. I have no idea. But here we go. We have another drop coming up right here. What do we got? Another hilt. Woo! Another 19.1 mil. Restored my faith in this boss just a little bit. And the amount of kills that I got per trip, because I know somebody's going to ask, really depended on how many restore drops and prayer potion drops that I got from the boss. But if I was good, want to say I'd hit the 25 mark. Probably at least 25. And if you see any icons in the back or GIFs. I did stream pretty much all of this on Twitch. Just if you see them and you were curious on what was going on my screen. And I did manage to get the Animal Slayer or something like that. I don't remember what the achievement's called, but it was a Grandmaster task to kill the boss without taking any damage from the boss or the minions. And I did that by just tanking all the minions and the boss, and I 4-hit the boss, and easy. Wasn't even trying to do it, just did it. I didn't get the kill 25 or whatever because I didn't do any of these in a private instance. This was all in the public instance. If someone could tell me what the advantage is to using a private instance, I'd also appreciate that. I don't really understand. Like, I get it if you don't want to be crashed or something like that. But I was pretty confident no one was going to crash me in max gear at Sarah. Also, who is crashing Sarah? Why would you grieve somebody? That's crazy to me. But I digress. I'm sure there's some people who do it just for fun. It was definitely a thing that people did at bandos just for fun for the longest time until they introduced instances. And then everything was pretty chill after that. But anyways, this inventory is basically the inventory I used for the rest of the video. Just started bringing the ward and the Kodai and bracelet, and we have another drop. It's another Saradomin sword. Shocking. Even with the, what is it, the Saradomin's tier from Bounty Hunter or something, I don't really remember. I feel like the sword's still not that great. It's not the best option for really anything. Could be wrong though. But there's another Saradomin sword. These things are like 100k, so like charging the tier would be really easy. So it can't be worth using ever. That's just how I feel. If let me know if there's a PKer here. Let me know. Is the gold Saradomin sword worth using anywhere? I need to know. I don't really PK. We just kill bosses over and over again. But I had a little streak of luck here actually, and I got a few drops right in a row. It's very nice, very nice. And there's the first one. We got the Armadillo crossbow, 52.6 mil when I got the drop. That was crazy. And shortly after that, got another little cheeky Saradomin sword. I was really excited at this point for the crossbow. That thing was mad expensive, 50 something mil. And I'm assuming this is all because of the Zerite crossbow and how good it is at places like Nex, and I think it's used as a spec weapon at a bunch of places as well, including Muspa, which is another boss that I want to do. But first we have to get the little tablet from Duke, which I may or may not have been working on the side while I was doing this. And we've got another Saradomin's Light. That is really disappointing. That's what, like another 30k in the bank. Let's go. I also didn't alch anything, and I unfortunately couldn't keep a lot of the things that were dropped by the boss, like Addy plates, and I missed a couple Addy skirts and things like that, especially when I was starting off, because I couldn't pick everything up, go straight in, not use any supplies, and I would try and juggle it, but sometimes you lose some stuff. But it's okay. We got the main bulk of things here. Also, while I was doing this, you'll be able to tell I picked up a lot of the unicorn horns, and it wasn't until later that I found that these things were worth basically nothing. And the snape grass was nice, though. I did end up using all of the snape grass that I picked up after I made the little loot video in the loot tab. Made a bunch of prayer potions to make up for all of the prayer potions I used here, which, by the way, I used prayer potions instead of the restores. This was just because of what I had in the bank. I wasn't sure what to take here for a Zammy item, so I have the Zammy robe bottom here. Let me know what you guys take when you come here. Maybe I should have just used the Zammy boots. I don't think the boots would have made a huge difference as far as DPS, and I would have been able to have an extra inventory slot, but hindsight is 2020. Excuse me. And yeah, we didn't bring the boots. Also, I was having a little bit of trouble with the minions in the beginning, where I was only stacking 2 at a time. Later on, I figure out how to stack 3, but at that point, it was way too late. And at 826 KC, we've got another Saradomin sword. I think for the video, that's almost 800 kills in. Yeah. And what do we got here? Another Saradomin sword. Another one. Also, the boss dropped a lot of Raynars. It's like they want you to make prayer potions and Raynar seeds. Lots of rune darts, which aren't worth what they used to be when the blowpipe just destroyed everything in the game before the nerf, which was nerfed once or twice now. Might have been once for the wilderness and then another time for everything overall. But it honestly needed to be nerfed. There was so much stuff that couldn't be brought into the game because of it. It just wrecked everything. If you didn't have a twisted bow, you could basically use the blowpipe for anything. But here we are. We're about to get another drop. What is it? Another hilt. That's 3 hilts. This thing is like 1 in 512. And I've gotten 3 of them in less than 1,000 kill count. Another 19 mil in the bank. So what is that? We're sitting at 30, 40, almost 100 mil now. Boom, another Saradomin sword. Gotta be like 100 mil. Between the 3 hilts and the crossbow and all the other junk that I got, including all these swords. Picked up every Saradomin sword. Even though they're not worth a lot, they look really nice on the ground. And speaking of Saradomin swords on the ground, another one at 934 KC, and another one at 936 KC. Almost back-to-back Sarah swords, but not quite. I think that would have been pretty epic to get back-to-back Sarah swords. I've never really gotten a back-to-back drop that I can think of, and I've killed a lot of bosses. Yeah, no back-to-backs come to mind. Had some crazy luck, though. But we're about to have some crazy luck at the Saradomin boss, because here we have another drop, and it's another Armadillo crossbow. That means we went under drop rate on every drop here, except for the light. I think I should have ended with like 3 or 4 lights. But spoiler alert, that's not gonna happen. We got those 2 lights, and we only have like 30 more kills to do here. And at this point, you could tell if you're looking at my DMs, I am super hyped to be out of here. I did not like doing this at all. I know before I made the video, I complained about it and I didn't want to do it. And afterwards, I didn't want to. And here we are at 10:38. I got another Saradomin's light, so maybe I did. It was 3, and here's 1000 KC. Off to the loot. Alright, and now for the moment everyone's been waiting for. Loot from 1000 Saradomin kills. We have 183 mil. It's 11 Sarah swords, 3 hilts, 2 crossbows, and 3 lights. The crossbows are actually the bulk of it. It is 77.5 mil without the crossbows. These things are like 53 mil right now. Got all kinds of good stuff, diamonds, Raynars. Not bad. Not quite what Armadillo was, but not bad. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like. And if we get to 200, I think I'll do 1000 Vardorvis next. I think that'll be fun. And yeah, we're almost at 1000 subscribers, so that'd be awesome to hit that before the end of the year. And check out one of the other videos on screen if you enjoyed watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody!